Rodrigo was lagging behind his motorcycle group as they traversed Tagaytay Road on their way to Calatagan. So somewhere between Picnic Grove and DBP, he gunned his bike to catch up with the group. As a result, he skidded at a turn and crashed, totaling his bike. To make things worse, a storm and heavy fog had rolled in, so no one saw his accident. Rodrigo had to pick himself up and walk to wherever he could to get help. There he was, walking on the side of a very dark and foggy Tagaytay Ridge Road in driving rain and howling wind, with his thumb out, hoping and praying someone would see him and give him a ride. There were hardly any cars out that night, but fortunately, his prayers were heard and answered. Right before the junction going to Manila, he saw a pair of headlights looming ghost-like in the same direction he was heading. The headlights stopped for him. "Thank God for good Samaritans," Rodrigo muttered to himself. And so without a second look or thought, he hopped in the car. Once inside the car, Rodrigo was jolted by the fact that there was nobody else but him in the car. He was alone in a driverless car on a very dark, deserted road on a foggy, stormy night. Naturally, he was too terrified, too frozen by fear to jump out the ghostly car. The car continued its slow journey forward. After a few hundred meters on a downhill part of the road, Rodrigo saw a sharp curve coming up. Once again, he prayed, this time even more fervently, because he was sure the driverless car would go off the road and plunge over the cliff, taking him down to his certain death. But just before the curve, a hand suddenly reached through the driver's side window and turned the steering wheel to guide the car safely around the bend. With ever-increasing terror, Rodrigo watched the hand reappear every time the car had to round a dangerous curve. But eventually, he got used to the reappearing mysterious but life-saving hand, and he was able to muster enough courage and strength to leap out the car and run to the nearest place where he could see the faint light of houses. Wet and shaking from fear and the cold night, he went into a store and bought 2 bottles of Red Horse beer, and with voice quaking, he recounted his horrifying ghost story to the store owner and everyone else there. Stunned silence followed Rodrigo's tale, especially after his audience concluded he was neither nuts nor drunk despite the way he looked. 15 minutes of total silence passed before 3 men walked into the store, and one of the men recognized Rodrigo. The man pointed to Rodrigo and said to his companions, "Yan! Yan yung gagong sumakay sa atin kotse habang tinutulak natin."